The NBA draft came and went last night. Let's talk about the results of that. Plus, your Rockets actually drafted somebody, if you care about the Rockets anymore. I've got a story about Kevin Love talking about the fact that he still has suicidal thoughts. We're going to discuss that. Plus, the most common passwords of 2020. And the dude found a $2 million meteorite that fell through the roof of his house. Some people have all of the luck. Plus, joining me in hour number 2, my buddy Jerry Bow. All that and more right now on Barry on Deck. Let go.
Live from the BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat. Written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack, featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
What's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. I am so glad you made it today. We have a lot of fun planned for you. There's no we. It's just a me. But I have a lot of fun planned for you, so the we is us. But I do the plan. Anyways, we'll just get to the show. Thank you guys for joining me. This is November the 19th, 2020. This is episode number 138 of Barry on Deck. I could not be happier to be waking up every day and doing this show with you guys. I want to start off by saying I lost my shit yesterday, and I'm not proud of it, and I apologize. We had a couple of cam hoes come in the chat, and I shouldn't have called them hoes, but, you know, shit happens. I apologize for my the way I reacted. So we'll just move on, and hopefully, I can act like an adult today. Because I got some sleep, y'all. Yesterday, I was functioning on very little sleep. Today, about 13 hours. I got about 13 hours of sleep last night, you guys. After we did Food of Ages with Mike Liebeshock, if you don't know, if you're new to the program, first of all, what are you doing? Make sure you subscribe to this channel, Barry is Funny, so that you can watch Barry on Deck, Barry on Sports, Barry on Stage doing stand-up. I got a ton of other videos besides this show, so if you're brand new here, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and whenever I release any kind of video, you'll be notified of it, and you can partake in the hilarity. But we started a new show. I have a new show out called Food of Ages that I do with my buddy and co-host Mike Liebeshock. First episode was last night. It streams live on Facebook. It's the only place you can watch it right now. So go to facebook.com/Food of Ages. But in preparation of that show, I was up pretty goddamn late and ended up getting a few hours of sleep the day before, yesterday. And then when that show was over, I tidied up some things. We had a 30-minute post-show meeting to discuss what's next. And then I climbed my tired ass in bed, took 2 Benadryl, and did not wake up until 11:40 today. I fell asleep about 10:30, woke up about 11:40. I'm feeling frisky as shit, which I gotta say is way better than my sweet Cece. She's going through some shit. I won't give her details out, but sweet Cece, we're all cheering for you, sweetie. We all hope the best for you, and I'm really sorry you're going through what you're going through. I know it sucks. All I can say is you sons of bitches wear your mask, okay? Let's get to the chat. As you guys know, like to shout out the chat early on. That got weird. Why is the time thing there? That's a weird place for the time thing. I wonder if I can move that, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that got bigger. We're going to redo it. Don't worry, kiddos. You're seeing how we make the sausage right now. That's weird. Okay. Here we go. Let's try it again. I didn't see who was first, by the way. I was busy trying to be on time. I saw a typo on a slide, right before I started. So I fixed the typo, didn't see who was first. So whoever was first in the chat, congratulations. What's up to CC, Steven the Weather Guy, Lil Uzi Vert. If you gave us a weather update, I missed it, buddy. I apologize. G-Man in the building. Rick C is here. Cowboy Fam, I'm glad you enjoyed it, buddy. We are definitely going to get you on the show to talk about your experience doing TV and as a chef. We're going to have that happen for sure. Fidel Limon is in the building. The Reverend Lord Chris Householder III is here. Keith Sager, what's up, Playboy? Big Lisa, what up, Big Lisa? I hope you, y'all, I don't know if, Big Lisa, you must be new. I'm glad you heard this is a good show. We're going to try to make that happen for you, Big Lisa, okay? Stick around. Don't be like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, and then bail after 10 minutes. Consume 2 or 3 of these and then see if you like it. And if you do, thumbs up and all that shit. Why did this stop? This just went away. Let's go. Katie's in the building. Marvin Wingfield is here. Sandoval in H-Town. Aaron Little. Aaron J. Bryant. Who else? Justin Swinford. I love it. He said, if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Captain Stabbin is an ocean documentary. That was random. I dig it. Jen, hi, sweetie. Thank you for all your help. Jesus Perez is in the building. PK is here. Donna, my sweet Donna. Thank you for the Venmo last night after the show. Much appreciated. We're going to tuck that away until we have an account for the show. Who else? Eric Resendez. Listen, everybody's here. I overwent my minute on the shout outs. But why was this the best entrance ever? I don't understand. Okay, let's get to it. Guys, I want to say thank you to the deckheads that turned out last night for Food of Ages. It really meant a lot to me and to Shock. We're starting this new venture. A lot of you came out and supported and watched and thumbs up and participated, and it meant the world to me and to Shock. And I want you to know, and by the way, somebody was like, is this where all of our Barry on Deck money is going to? These fancy graphics? That I made those. I made all this. Look, it's all right here in my same song. But I made this graphic. I made those. I made the outro. I made all that shit. So have no fear. It costed it $0 for those graphics. So your Barry on Deck money goes into Barry on Deck. Believe that. I would never lie to you guys. I would never cheat you guys. That's why Donna sent $20 on Venmo for Food of Ages. That's not going to Barry on Deck. That's going to Food of Ages. But I'm glad you guys turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm looking more forward to those in the coming months ahead and growing that show and making it something special over there on Facebook. Before we go any further, let me get into my liquor cabinet here. We have a birthday, peoples. It's not Big Lisa. What's up, Junior? It's not Big Lisa. It's Lisa O. We gotta wish Lisa O a very happy birthday. Deckheads, get your shot glasses out. Get your alcohol out. I know it's 2:08. I know you're at work. I don't give a shit. Let's get our drink on. Thank you, Justin. I'm glad you enjoyed the first episode, buddy. What is Food of Ages? BZH 420. It is a brand new show we are doing on Facebook about food. Me and Mike Liebeschock. Wish Lisa a happy birthday, you guys. Lisa, love you to death, sweet girl. Thank you for being a deckhead. Thank you for being part of the family. Thank you for being here. Happy birthday. I hope you get roadhead or a hand job or whatever it is that makes you happy. Cheers to you, sweet girl. Happy birthday. It just shouldn't be so good. There's no reason that I should be able, look how, this is almost gone. I got this 38 episodes ago. It's almost gone. Happy birthday, Lisa. That Jameson goes down way too smooth. Way too smooth. Hal said he got a sponsorship packet to decide on. It ain't all that. Don't settle down. Hey, thank you, 713 Hooligan, for popping the super chat cherry, buddy. Much appreciated. He said, I was first on all 3. Go and make it a trifecta. Oh, we got a new Triple Crown winner in the building. We got Jeff Bell won a Triple Crown. Marvin, was it? No. Who else? Somebody else won a Triple Crown. But put 713 Hooligan, put AKA Josh on the Triple Crown Hall of Fame. Buddy, thank you for being the first in the chat, the first to like the show today, and the first to send a super chat, my friend. Much appreciated. If y'all don't know, Josh is a wonderful human being. Looks like an idiot. Great dude. Love you, Josh. Just fucking with you. All right, let's get this rolling. Is Lisa even here? There she is! But sweet girl Lisa, happy birthday, girl. And also thank you for your service. The veteran swag bags finally went in the mail last night. You guys should be getting those by Friday or Saturday at the latest, depending on how the mail operates. But if you were a vet like Lisa, you serve this country, you're a deckhead, and you're in the Discord, I took care of you. All 11 of those swag bags went out. If you don't know, on Veterans Day, Cece wanted to buy shot glasses for all the vets, but she was unable to make it. I said, don't worry about it, girl. I'm going to do you one better. You don't spend the money. I'm going to take all the swag that I have for this show, whatever I have left, and send them one of each. So we found 11 deckheads that are vets in the Discord, and I sent them stuff. So that's all the more reason to go and join the Discord. And the only way to do that is join Patreon. Go to patreon.com/BarryOnDeck. And when you join, you have access to the Discord. You get all kinds of cool shit, and it's a way to support myself and the show and help me grow this thing. So yes, it is so smooth. Oh my God. Jameson is ridiculously good. Okay, now let's get to the sports. We have a lot to get to in a short amount of time because, as I said, Jerry Bow is joining me in hour number 2. Let me explain why Jerry Bow is back. Jerry Bow came on this show pretty early on, maybe a month and a half in, 2 months in. And it doesn't happen now, but at the time I would have technical problems. I never have technical problems now. It's never a problem. I don't have any issues. But Jerry did a whole hour with me on this show, and it was an amazing story, an amazing hour. And the entire time his mic was fucked up and you couldn't hear it. It sounded like he was like, I don't know, screwed and chopped or some shit. I don't know. But I was like, I swore to everybody I would have Jerry Bow back. And I thought, why not? Let's do it right now, because Jerry Bow and I are going to have a discussion about another venture we're going to be working on that I think you guys are really going to get into, because I know how much the deckheads like to give back. So we're going to talk about that later. But Jerry Bow's my guest today. We're going to talk about his story. We're going to talk about gambling. We're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. So stick around for hour number 2. If you are a degenerate gambler, this is going to be your hour for sure. Plus, if you just like good stories about wonderful human beings and you like good people, Jerry Bow's your guy. All right, let's get to the sports headlines of the day. Some really sad news, some really good news. Look, Golden State Warriors Klay Thompson suffered season-ending Achilles tear. He was in Los Angeles. He was working out with some players, landed awkwardly, could not put any weight on it, could not walk off the court, had to be helped off the court. And then several people, including Steve Kerr, flew to LA to be with him while he got the diagnosis. Turns out it is a torn Achilles. He is done for the season. He will have to have surgery. The doctors did say, however, that based on their findings and what they saw, it looks like he will make a full recovery. So that's good. But damn, you go from ACL surgery where you missed all of last year. You're trying to work out and get back in shape and get back into playing form because December 22nd, which is the start of the NBA season, right around the corner, and then you tear your Achilles and you're out for the year again. And I'm not the biggest Golden State Warrior fan because I'm a Rockets fan, and they have been the Rockets' kryptonite. But I like good people and I like good sports, and Klay Thompson seems like a decent dude, and he seems like, well, he makes sports better. He makes the NBA better because he makes the Warriors dominant. So it sucks, but that's the hand you're dealt. So, thoughts go out to Klay Thompson and a speedy recovery for him. The Mets' Robinson Cano has been banned from the 2021 MLB baseball season because he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs again. Oh, God damn it, Cano. I love you, buddy. Y'all don't know, I have this huge man crush on Robinson Cano. I love to watch this dude play baseball. It's effortless. It's a beautiful thing to watch him field his position at second base. The dude can hit, he can play, he can field. Unfortunately, he cannot stay away from the performance-enhancing drugs. This is his second suspension, and because of that, he's required to miss 162 baseball games, which is the entire season. And it also means he's going to miss out on his $24 million. What a dumbass. Great second baseman, stupid ass idiot of a person. Why, after one suspension, would you go back to it? I realize he's 38. I realize he's getting older. Bro, drink some Ensure and get out there, pull up your big boy diaper, and stop doing dumb shit. Make your $24 million, become average like everybody else, and fucking get over it. It just got cloudy outside and got dark in here. That got weird. I don't know. I'm so pissed at Robinson Cano because I love to watch this dude play baseball. And he's gone and fucked it all up. And now he's a goddamn cheater. Now I have to walk around telling people that one of my favorite baseball players is a goddamn cheater. It was like when I first started becoming a big UFC fan, Vitor Belfort was one of my favorite fighters to watch. Big time cheater. Big time cheater. Why do I gravitate to the cheaters? Why do I hurt me? I guess girls just like bad boys. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Conor McGregor has signed a deal to fight Dustin Poirier on, I think it's UFC 257, January 23rd. So that's a big deal. As you know, Conor McGregor retired, unretired, retired. Let's be real. This dude's an attention whore. It's the only reason he retires. He has no plans of walking away. He loves the attention and the money way too much to walk away from the UFC. But he says he does. And then he gets another big time fight. So he's back. So he's going to make some money. So we get to look forward to that. I'm kind of getting sick of Conor McGregor. I'm kind of getting sick of his shit. At this point, if he just stayed retired, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, fine, go away. I like to watch the guy fight, but I don't like to watch the guy be a goddamn attention whore. Either go away or don't, but stop saying it. It's like those dudes you ever met, well, this is going to seem kind of nerdy, but back in the day, I was a big message board guy, especially when I met guys like Tony Garza and Penguin Katie and some other folks from the old 1560 days. We used to all be on a message board. And one of the things you could always count on was somebody was going to quit the message board and then they would come back later. I don't think we really have that on the Discord too much, but it's inevitably that somebody's like, fuck this place, I'm out. And then they leave because they get their feelings hurt because somebody fucked with them. And then within 2 weeks, they're back and they're like, hey guys, just came back. See, like Conor McGregor is the MMA equivalent of a message board person. He just quits for the attention and then he comes back. Bro, either go away or stay, but fucking pick one. Because really, we like to watch you fight, but otherwise, we don't care about you, Conor McGregor. Literally no one gives a shit about your antics outside of the cage. We all just want to watch you fight. So fight or don't. Shut the fuck up and do one or the other, though. Jesus, I'm sick of it. Sources are saying that the Sixers are sending Al Horford and 2 picks to Oklahoma City Thunder for Danny Green. Well, that didn't last long. As you know, Danny Green, Oklahoma City traded for Danny Green. They sent Chris Paul and who'd they send? They sent Chris Paul and I believe, no, they didn't send any picks, did they? There was one other player involved in that trade, but they ended up getting Danny Green in a trade. And I told you at the time, they're going to flip Danny Green. All right. It's not going to last very long. They're probably going to flip Danny Green and get some more picks out of him. And lo and behold, they get a big old expiring contract in Al Horford and 2 picks. And Oklahoma City is absolutely stacking up and just racking up draft picks. I mean, listen, if they do this right, if Oklahoma City handles themselves properly when it comes to all these drafts and draft picks, they're going to be an absolute fucking juggernaut for years because they are just piling up the draft picks. Now, they could go the route of being like the Boston Celtics, which at one time, if you recall, had a ton of draft picks and really handled themselves the right way and built a really solid team. Or they could just fuck it all up like the Texans. You know what I mean? You just don't know. Eric Resendez with the super chat, buddy. Thank you so much. Wow, that got big. I don't need to see your face that big, pal. That's disturbing. Jesus Christ, Eric. Ugh. Disgusting. Let me fix that. Oh my gosh. Eric Resendez, he sent a $5 super chat, and I do appreciate your continued support and kindness and generosity, Eric. But he said, sweet swing by Cano, so smooth at second fielding, and Belfort is a legend, cheat or not. Haven't been on Discord in 3 weeks. We'll be back, though. You better be back. God damn it, Eric, you better get back to the Discord. And yes, both of those guys, right? I mean, watching Robinson Cano play baseball is It's a thing of beauty, man. He's not the superstar that he probably should be. But oh my God, I don't know of anybody that fields his position more smoothly and looks better at the plate than Robinson Cano. It's amazing. And he cheats. So fuck that guy. And Vitor Belfort, for both of them, breaking my heart. All right, let's get to the rest of these sports headlines. Finally, the Knicks purge their roster. They create $40 million in cap space. Lots of folks they didn't bring back. They waived Taj Gibson. They waived Elfrid Payton. And Wayne Ellington declined a $15.75 million option for Bobby Portis. So the Knicks have said, screw it. We're going to free up all this money and go after a big name. Hey, Knicks, listen. Nobody wants to play for you. Remember when you tried to get Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving and they both went to Brooklyn? Nobody wants to play for you guys. I don't know. I don't know what the Knicks do. I think if you're the Knicks, you probably have to change owners, president of basketball operations, GMs, head coaches, logos, names. You could become the New York Knots. I don't know what they need to do, but no one wants to play for this Knicks organization because it is an absolute joke of a franchise. It's like going to the Jets. No one wants to go to the Jets, and no one wants to go to the Knicks. It's a mess, man. The only way the Knicks are going to get superstars is if they absolutely trade for them. And I'm willing to bet you very few people have the Knicks on their trade exception. Like, oh, well, you could trade me to the Knicks. No one, when they make their list of teams that I will be traded to, the Knicks is not one of them. No one's like, boy, I'd love to go flounder and suck for years as I finish out my career as a superstar. No, there will be somebody that they draft that becomes a star that they can build around, but it ain't now. I don't know. We'll get, speaking of the draft, let's just go ahead and jump into this because the NBA draft, if you weren't aware, happened last night. And this was your, I just did the lottery picks for you guys in case you missed it or in case you care or whatever. This is how it shook out. And I got to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised Lamelo Ball fell to 3. Although Michael Jordan said, listen, if he's available, draft him. But the big hype, the big talk was that Lamelo Ball was going to be number 1. Every source out there available said that. But if you looked at the evaluations of him, nobody evaluated him as a number 1, but everybody talked about him being a number 1. Which makes me think now, his daddy just spent a lot of money on some really good PR stuff. Because not only did he not go 1, he didn't even go 2 in the draft. So you had Anthony Edwards out of Georgia going number 1. The Warriors draft James Wiseman. And then LaMelo Ball falls to number 3 and goes to the Charlotte Hornets. And again, the Hornets had to get MJ's buy-off on this. They absolutely had to get MJ's buy-off. And they did, but we'll see how it goes. I started reading a lot of draft information on him, and I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of what I read and saw, because you guys know, I don't watch a lot of college basketball. I can't sit here and, well, man, I really think the Pistons got to steal on Killian Hayes. I don't even know who the fuck Killian Hayes is, all right? Outside of the top 3 or 4 players, no one gives a shit about the NBA draft. And this is an argument that I have had with the likes of Joe Blank and Nick Sharara and several other NBA people. And yes, there are occasions where there is a good player that emerges from below the top 10 or top 12 or top 14. But if you're building a franchise or you want to create a winning franchise, it's going to happen in the top 3 to 5 picks. Outside of that, yeah, you might find some guys, but it's not always. This isn't like the NFL where you know, the first 3 rounds matter. It's not like, baseball where the first 250 rounds matter. Jesus, baseball, get your shit together. This is different. Usually you're building a franchise within the top 5 picks. Now, you might get good players. You might get solid players. But superstars don't always happen outside of the top 5. Not saying it never happens, but it's not as common as you would see like in the second round of the NFL, if you guys catch what I'm saying here. Wow, that's not fair. Reverend saying I sounded like I was talking about the Rockets and not the Knicks. Well, speak your truth, King. Speak your truth. All right, so here it is. This is your top 7. I'm going to give you all 14. You see Isaac Okoro goes to the Cavs. Patrick Williams to the Bulls. Onyeka Okongwe to the Hawks. Probably said that wrong. Killian Hayes to the Pistons. And then rounding out your top 14, the Knicks draft Obi Toppin. Denny, can we get some easy names? Where's Bob Smith? Jesus. Denny Avdia? I don't know. The Wizards got a guy. Suns draft Jalen Smith. Spurs grab Devin Vassell. Kings draft Tyrese Halliburton. Hey, I used to work for them. Kira Lewis Jr. goes to the Pelicans, and Aaron Nesmith goes to the Celtics. I don't know. Underrated mess. Nigerians out here representing. A lot of names I can't say. KD said there are plenty of great players that have come from the draft after the 5th pick. Listen, don't start a goddamn argument with me, KD. I am not changing my mind. I don't give a shit what you and Joe Blank and Nick Sharara say about this. The franchise building players usually occur within the top 5. That's where you want to be if you want to get one of the best players available in the draft. Outside of that, sure, yes, there are plenty of good players that are drafted outside of the top 5. But if you're building a franchise, I love you, CC. If you don't know this callback, you got to catch up on your Barry on Decks. If you're building a franchise, you're doing it within the top 5. Hey, birthday girl chiming in. Lisa O said, Bob Smith, Jesus. Bob Smith, his intangible. What does it say? Bob Smith, Jesus, Jesus? I don't know which one it is. Bob Smith, Jesus, eligible for the draft. Oh, because I said Bob Smith, Jesus. I'm slow, Lisa. I apologize. You forgot to declare. Oh, happy birthday, Lisa. That's so great. Kawhi was 15. Oh, my God. KD, stop. I'm going to have you put in a fucking timeout. I'm going to have you put in a timeout again. You guys don't listen to the whole statement. You just heard me say top 5 and went, fuck, that's wrong. I can name 1 million people drafted outside of the top 5 that are good. I said there are exceptions, but usually the franchise-making players will go within the top 5. If you want me to expand that to a top 7, I'm happy to do that. But goddamn it, let's not act like having the 30th pick in the NBA draft means something. It doesn't. Yeah, House, put his ass in a timeout. I'm sick of his shit already. Why does it look orange back there? That's supposed to be red to match my shirt. It looks orange, though, and I think it's because the sunlight coming in. Like, if I turn on my overhead light, watch how it changes the back. Isn't that weird? It changes the colors. Which, by the way, Nora wants to buy me some barn door because I have these here. I don't have that light on, but Nora wants to replace those doors with like one of those sliding barn doors to help me with the light situation in here. Plus, she hates that you can see into my office and it's dirty. That's what she's trying to do. I don't know. Maybe it's the Chris Davis. Anthony Bennett was #1 pick. That's not Dynamo Orange, Marvin. Yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong. That's not. It's red, bro. It's just that the light at the top. Look, this is orange. If I was gonna do orange, there's the orange. Okay? There's the orange. That's more of a yellowish. This is red. You people are colorblind and need to get your shit together. How did you not know that was red? How did you guys not know? I have decided that since I can't settle on a color, I'm just going to match the outfit every day with the background. So if I'm rocking red, we're going to rock red in the back. If I'm wearing blue, we rock blue. If I'm wearing black, we'll figure it out. I don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, I'm going to get one of those barn doors. I think that's going to be dope. It looks the same. No, it doesn't! Listen, D-Mata. Don't tell me what I can see. Right there. I can see there is an orange tint about after here. After here? Okay, now just fucking, what was that? KD got muted? God, I hope so. Jesus, I hope so. Figure about peace said red to match your attitude. No, I'm in a great mood. I just don't need KD in here trying to spam the chat with bullshit. Yo, let me list every single good NBA player drafted outside of the top 5. No shit. The NBA would be in shambles if there were never any good players drafted outside of the top 5. You're missing the point. As per usual when this conversation happens. All right, let's talk about Kevin Love, because this story of Kevin Love, if you don't know, he has suffered from depression. He has had suicidal thoughts, and he talked about dealing with this. And he did an in-depth with Graham Bensinger, which I don't think I've ever watched. Can I be honest for a second before I get on this Kevin Love story? I don't really know who Kevin Bensinger is. I know he did like interviews on Fox, but only because I would be watching a Fox Sports Southwest Astros or Rockets game. And then they would run a commercial they'd be like, oh, this is a new great interview with the world famous and everybody knows Kevin Bensinger. And I'd be like, who? I've never heard of that cat. But apparently he's a big time interview. He's like the Barbara Walters of sports. I don't know. I don't know this cat, but he manages to pull big names and get big interviews. So he did get Kevin Love. And it says this article was really interesting because it talked about the wide range of things that he talked about during the interview. But Kevin Love talked about depression and anxiety. He said he talked about suffering that after experiencing a hand injury when he was with the Timberwolves in 2012. He told Bensinger he researched a number of ways to take his own life around that time. And he was asked if he still thinks about suicide. And he admitted that he does. He said, quote, if whoever's going to watch this, who has had those thoughts before, I think it does cross your mind. And I've just learned to speak my truth. Honestly, I've learned that, nothing haunts us like the things we don't say. So me keeping that in is actually more harmful. He added, I've obviously had days that I really do struggle. I suffer a lot from imposter theory as well, which I don't know what that is. I would have to Google it. But he said, like, I sometimes don't feel deserving. I don't feel like I'm worthy of what I've accomplished or the success that I've had. And a lot of times I feel like a fraud because I don't feel like I've achieved enough. And I think a lot of us have some of those feelings. I know I can tell you I do, but I don't think I suffer from clinical depression or anxiety. I don't have suicidal thoughts, but there are moments when I don't feel like I deserve what I have, like I'm not good enough, like I don't have much compared to what Kevin Love has, but I think a lot of us feel that way with any kind of achievement that we have in our life. Like I've never felt worthy of being considered a decent stand-up comic or a decent radio guy or pretty decent at YouTube or whatever it is. But what I do admire about Kevin Love is his openness and his honesty, because let's be real for a second, chat. Let's be real for a second, everybody watching this. Kevin Love is a sports figure in this country. And we look at our male sports figures in this country, and there's a certain level of machismo attached to that, where we think, well, you just got to be a man and you just go play sports and you be tough and that's it. And no pun intended, but what I love about what Kevin Love is doing is he's saying, listen, I can be a good sports figure. I can be as a top level athlete, but I still have issues that I have to deal with like everybody else. And I want to talk about those issues and I want to speak my truth. And I admire his willingness to show some vulnerability when most of the time it's not accepted. When most of the time guys in his profession, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, or whatever, we look at them and think, just be a tough guy. Just be better than us. All of us fans and consumers and the people watching you are the ones that feel like we have struggles that nobody can relate to. So I think for a lot of us to see Kevin Love come out and have some compassion and say some things that we all think or feel, it means a lot. And it's also really risky because a lot of people are going to look at him, and let's be real, a lot of people in his sport, a lot of people in his team are going to look at him and think, he's soft. He's soft because he's talking about mental illness. He's soft because he's talking about suicide. He's soft because he has feelings. I admire what he's doing. It's needed. And it's really, it's important. It's important that we have male figures in sports that that let other guys know that it's okay to be vulnerable, that it's okay to be to have issues mentally, and that it's okay to talk about those. So I appreciate what Kevin Love is doing on so many different levels. It's necessary, it's needed. It's scary for him, I'm sure, to take that leap and say, this is what I suffer from. These are the problems I have. But I know that there are a lot of guys. I know a lot of people, mostly comics, but I know a lot of people that have those same thoughts, those same feelings, that suffer from clinical depression and anxiety. And I know that there are sports fans that have that, but they won't admit it or they don't know it. But they listen to a guy like Kevin Love talk and they think, man, that's me. That's me. I feel that, so maybe I'm not so crazy. Maybe I'm not so weird. Maybe I'm not the guy with the problems. Maybe this is just something I have to deal with and I can deal with, because if a superstar athlete that has millions of dollars has to go through this, then maybe I can deal with it too, because I don't have the pressure of being a macho athlete. So I didn't want to talk about this yesterday because we were running out of time, but I look at these kinds of stories and I think, man, this is what we need. And by we, I mean this country, but I mean guys, I mean men. I think when we see, and listen, I'm just going to be honest here. I think when we see a female, whether she's famous or not, say she's suffering from anxiety or depression or has suicidal thoughts, we empathize and sympathize and think, oh, girl, you have so much to live for. But a lot of times when we associate those things with guys, pussy, be a man. Come on, be a man. Be tough. What are you doing? Be tough. We don't get to choose what goes on in our head a lot of times until we recognize it, identify it, and then figure out how to, or learn how to treat it and deal with it. Whether that be through therapy, through medication, through meditation, through any number of ways that people that suffer from these illnesses learn how to deal with their problems. So it is needed, and I do admire him. And I want to tell you right now, if you're watching this and you have depression, you have suicidal thoughts, you suffer from anxiety, not only am I here for you, reach out to me personally if you just need somebody to talk to. I'm happy to talk to you. But I also want to encourage you to don't be afraid of it. Don't think that it makes you any less of a man. And don't be afraid to get some help. Don't be afraid to call somebody. Don't be afraid to go to counseling. When I was a kid, I went to counseling because my sister was a drug addict. And my parents got divorced when I was 6. And it caused a lot of things to go wrong in my head. And my mom recognized that and put me in counseling at the age of 8. And it made the world of difference for me, for my sister, for my mom. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. We don't get to choose that. It happens. But you can do something about it. And I love you. I love all of you. And if you need anything, I'm here. And you know that. So just reach out. Send me a message. There's a million ways to contact me. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to listen. And I'm happy to help you get the resources that you need to help yourself. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be shy of it. All right. Now, he also added, he said, I've obviously had days that I struggle. I suffer from, I read that, I'm sorry. He said, Love's focus has been defeating the stigma associated with mental health issues, and that this was his primary motivation behind starting the Kevin Love Fund roughly 2 years ago. He has received plenty of support since sharing his story, and he's not the only star athlete who has gone public after struggling with similar issues, which I'm glad to see. But let's be real. There are a lot more athletes that suffer from this that don't talk about it and don't come forward. But the more that the Kevin Loves of the world do come forward, I think the more we'll see athletes come forward and feel comfortable talking about their struggles. So hopefully this continues. The Reverend said, I lost my son, my mom, I got custody of my oldest all within a month and then went through a divorce. Counseling was everything. It really is, Rev. And you know what? Being able to say, first of all, I'm sorry for your loss, but being able to say that, listen, I need help. That's a big problem for guys. And I'm just talking to the men right now. Ladies, I love you. As men, we have a problem admitting vulnerability. As men, we have a problem saying we have a problem. And I want you to know there's nothing worse that you could do that affects you and your loved ones and your friends and the people that care about you and your family, whether it be your grandma, your aunt, your niece, your nephew. But to just bury it and pretend like it doesn't exist because you want to be macho is not helping anyone, including you. Because believe it or not, the thoughts you have, the feelings you have, the things you suffer from that you bottle up, it affects the people around you because of the way that you react and the way that you portray yourself. Do something for yourself. And if you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family. Do it for the people that love you, and do it for the people that you love. It's okay. It's okay to admit you're not okay. So do it. All right. And I'm here for you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm here for every single one of you. I really am. Aaron Little said, Tiara, my wife will be licensed in a few months. Maybe she can be like a deckhead counselor or something. I'm here for it, Aaron. I'm here for anybody needing help and getting it in any way, shape, or form possible. Maybe you don't want to spend the money. Maybe you don't have the money to spend, but maybe Aaron's wife is willing to let you give her a call and talk to her. I do it. Okay, do it. That's what it's about, is get help, get better, and be the person you are, not the person that the mental illness makes you, if that makes any sense. All right, sorry to bring it down, but that's important to me, you guys, because listen, man, this country, we have a lot of stereotypes that we talk about and don't talk about, and male macho-ness and mental illness is one of those things that really doesn't get talked about a ton. So I'm glad that Kevin Love has been talking about it and has been out at the forefront of it and saying, this is what I have. These are my problems. And this is what I do to deal with it. Because I think it means a lot to a lot of people. I really do. So props to Kevin Love, man. If you need a hero to look up to, that's your guy. And if you need seafood, well, damn it, that's not it. This is it. Crab Kings is the place if you want delicious seafood in the city of H-Town. I'm going to need you to get out to one of their 3 locations, whether it be in Houston off of Antoine Drive, whether it be in Stafford off of Avenue F, or whether it be in Deer Park off of Center Street. You need to get out there and get you some fresh, delicious seafood. It is some of the best in the city, hands down. I love the place. You're going to love the place. I could personally recommend 2 different dishes that I've had from them. The fried fish and shrimp or the snow crab and shrimp. Shrimp, though. I know it's Crab Kings, but damn, their shrimp is delicious. The spicy shrimp is good. When they do like their boiled spicy shrimp, they boil the potatoes and the sausage and everything else in it. And it is so good. And look, I know Cece's under the weather, but she'll tell you, Cece loves her some Crab Kings. Chris Reyes loves him some Crab Kings. Jennifer Jones loves the Crab Kings. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tried it, get out to one of those 3 locations. And if you got a family of 4 or more to feed, I'm going to tell you get the loaded platter, but there's also other stuff. There's the crawfish, there's the boudin balls. Guys, it's legit. Go to @theCrabKings on Instagram. Just do it. Seriously, it's free. It takes 2 seconds. Look up @theCrabKings on Instagram and check out the food. Oh, it's amazing. It looks as good as it tastes. And you can also find them on Facebook @theCrabKings. But if you enjoy this show and you want to support me and the businesses that support Barry on Deck, take your ass over to Crab Kings, okay? All right. We are running out of time. I haven't done any of the non-sports / entertainment stuff. BZH420 said their potatoes are ridiculous. Fact. Apparently KD got his ass put on timeout for real. I was just joking, you guys. I didn't really mean to put KD, although serves your bitch ass right. Okay, hey, what are your passwords? I'm talking to you, Nick Sharara, you dumbass. I bet he still hasn't changed it. I found this article that talked about the top passwords of 2020. The top passwords of 2020. Here they are. If you have any of these passwords, you're an idiot and you need to change your fucking password ASAP. Now, some of these I understand. Some of them I'm like, What does that mean? All right, so you got obviously 123456 is the number one password of 2020. And if you have this password and you get hacked and all your titty pics or your dick pics or whatever pics you have on your phone get put out on the internet somewhere, well, you deserve it for having such a basic ass password, you basic ass computer user. 123456789. Ooh, you really tricked the hackers there, did you, idiot? Picture one, I don't get this. Why? What is picture one? Why is that? I don't understand that. Password I get. 1234567 See, I would have thought that 123456 and then 1234567 because usually it's a minimum of 6 characters and then a minimum of 8 characters and then 10 or 12. So you kind of go up from there. All ones, 123, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 through 0. What is SENHA? I really have no idea what that is. What is that? SENHA. Let me Google that real quick. Oh, really? It's Portuguese for password. What? What? I sound like my aunt. Aunt Diane, may she rest in peace. She was the loudest woman I ever met in my life. And when she didn't understand something or you said something crazy, she would do the same thing. She'd go, what? I had to turn the mic down for you for that one because she got loud, which I'm able to do. Okay, look, I Googled it real quickly, peoples. Here you go. Senha, SENHA, means password. It is Portuguese. So the Portuguese out here dominating the password game, apparently. But I didn't realize that. Anyways, they got 1 through 7, QWERTY, wow. ABC 1, 2, 3, Million 2, all zeros 1 through 4, I love you, which is easy. Aaron 431, which I saw Aaron Little. Who said that's not Aaron 431 is not my password, I swear. Oh, I bet. But why 431? That's the other one I didn't understand. What is Aaron? Let me Google that. What is Aaron 431? Aaron 431. That has to have some sort of meaning, right? Like what? Why would everyone have... Oh, yeah, I don't get that. Is that a Pokemon card? I see that as a Google result. Let me share this real quick. Hold on. Let me pull this out. God damn son of a bitch. Here we go. Share screen. I Googled Aaron 431. We've got like a Aaron Overton on Instagram, Aaron on Twitter, Aaron 431 on YouTube. Most common passwords. Yeah. And then a Pokemon Aaron 431. I don't understand. What am I missing? What am I missing about Aaron's 431? That's confusing to me. I don't get it. Well, you guys are weird. Here's the rest of them. You got password 1 and QQ dub 1122. If you look at the keyboard, that makes sense because they're all right there, those 4. That's pretty creative though, right? I don't feel like that, but listen, let me give you some tips on your passwords from a genius technical guy who never has tech problems. But I did, all jokes aside, work in the IT field for 20 plus years. Don't use your pets' names. Don't use your husband or wife's name. Don't use your spouse's name. Don't use your kids' names. Don't use your birthday. Don't use your kid's birthday. All that information is easy to find. And when and if you use those things, people can figure that out and then know your password. Some of you will have like Caleb 070479. And Caleb was born on July 4th of 1979. And now we know your password. Don't do it. If you're going to use Caleb, here's a tip, all right? If you're going to use Frank, for example, make the A the @ symbol, all right? Like use the one as a exclamation mark or an L. Like you can mix up letters with numbers and it makes it a little more difficult for people to hack your password, okay? So don't be a fucking moron and use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last thing I wanted to talk about before we get to the break. This dude You talk about lucky and unlucky at the same time. There was a dude who had a $2 million. All right, that totally wasn't worth trying to find get off the slide. This dude in Sumatra, Indonesia, had a $2 million meteorite smash through the veranda of his house. I don't even know what a veranda is, but I guess that's a porch. He said, while I lifted it, the stone was still warm. I brought it into the house. He said, I knew someone didn't throw it because there's no way that they could have thrown this big thing that high and gotten it through the roof of the porch. He's 33-year-old. This dude's job, he's a coffin maker. I didn't even realize. You know, there are some jobs you find out about where you're like, oh shit, I guess that does exist. Coffin maker is one of those jobs where you're like, oh yeah, somebody does have to make coffins for a living. Well, we found our guy. This dude his name is, oh boy. Oh, I'm gonna mess this all up. Joshua Hutagalung. Okay, I'm gonna copy Joshua. Hold on. Let me just add this here. This is his name. All right, people, don't judge me. Don't say this is his name. Where'd it go? Did I not add it? Oh, there it goes. Hold on, let me move this out of the way. This is old boy's name. There it is. That's his meteorite. Joshua Hutagalung. Okay. But he said the sound was loud, the house shook, and after I searched, I saw the tin roof of the house had broken. This thing was embedded in the dirt. It's a 4.5-pound meteorite. Hutagalung said he strongly suspected the object was a meteorite because it's impossible someone threw it. They said that it is 4.5 billion years old. And it is likely to fetch more than enough to put a new roof on. They said that because of it's classified as a CM12 carbonaceous chondrite. I have no idea what any of these words mean. The space rock is valued at around $850 per gram. It's 4.5 pounds. It's going to net him about $1.9 million, almost $2 million. That shit is wild. And I'm like, can I please? But my luck would be, only thing I ever had was a bullet through that window. But in my luck, a meteorite would crash through this house and fucking land on me and murder me. And I would not be able to spend my meteorite money. I'd be sitting there like, please, Lord, please let me figure out how I'm going to make some money. Please send a meteorite to... And that'd be it. And then Nora would come home, and not only would she be rich, she'd be out of this marriage. She'd be like, I didn't even have to leave his stupid ass. The Lord killed him for me and blessed me with a $2 million meteorite. So, some people come by it naturally. Not this guy. He said, this is the weirdest part of this whole story. Listen to this quote from Hortung. What did I call him? What's his name? Josue. Not Hortung. Joshua Hutagalung. This is the weirdest thing in this whole story. Not the fact that a meteorite came crashing through his roof and made him $2 million. Dude became a millionaire like that. This is the weirdest thing. And it's a quote. Quote, I have also wanted a daughter, and I hope this is a sign that I will be lucky enough now to have one. I guess some people view things differently, but if a meteorite crashed through my roof, first thing I'm not thinking is, I've always wanted a kid. That's it. That's the sign. He said, my phone lit up with crazy offers for me to jump on a plane and buy the meteorite, said Jared Collins, a meteor expert. I was in the middle of a COVID crisis, and frankly, it was a toss-up between buying the rock for myself or working with scientists and collectors in the U.S. So there are people out there looking to buy the meteorite for $2 million from the guy so that they can research it and look at it. You talk about luck. I mean, when you think of the odds of a meteorite landing on somebody's house, slim to none. Slim to none. Hey guys, look, my guest is in the chat. All right, let's get to the break since he's here because I got to pee. I had Mocho coffees this morning. I had a shot of Jameson this morning. I've been drinking this Diet Coke this morning. And, God damn it. The odds are astronomical. TJ, I want you banned for 5 minutes. These goddamn dad jokes have got to stop. All right, let's get to a break. Coming up in 5 minutes, my buddy, my pal, Jerry Bo's going to join me. A return trip, a much overdue return trip to the show. The first time we had him on, he told his amazing story, but nobody fucking heard it because there were technical problems with microphones. It was actually the software. The software caused the problem because I had that problem with him and a few other people, including, I think, Crystal Cooper. So we're going to make it right with Jerry Bo this time. And did y'all ban him? Good. I'm so glad. I love it. All right, Jerry Bo coming up next. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this conversation that he and I have. We're going to talk about a lot of fun, cool stuff. You're not going to want to miss it, plus his amazing story. All that and more in 5 minutes right here on Barry on Deck. Don't go anywhere. Where did my breaks go? There we go. See you in 5 minutes, bitches. the show. This is Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for sticking around through the break. Well, those of you that did, for those of you that didn't stick around through the break, go fuck yourself. You shouldn't have left. You're an idiot. You can't hear this, but it's whatever. You'll watch it later and be like, oh, I should have stuck around through the break so he didn't say mean things about me. Also, you should have stuck around through the break because joining me on the show right now, my man, my guy, Jerry Bow. What's up, Playboy? How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's up, deckheads? I'm glad to be back. It's an unfinished business from last time.
It really is. Now, I can tell your mic is a little, so I don't know what's happening, but I don't want this to happen again. But I can hear you. I want to make sure the deckheads can hear you. So I want to make sure we're good. As the deckheads, let me know that you guys can hear Jerry. Jerry, now tell the people about your show on Sundays first and foremost, because you have a show that you do, which is a really, really good show leading up to football season on ESPN 97.5 here in Houston. Tell the people about that show.
Okay, I hope you can hear me, deckheads. I'm co-host of Moneyline from 10 to noon. Every single Sunday, we lead you up to kickoff. It's a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of gambling, a little bit of everything. But if you're looking for something,
Now, mine cut out on me, Jerry. Are you using your phone?
I'm on my computer.
Are you? God damn it, it's choppy again, Jerry. Let me call you back. We're going to do this. I don't give a fuck, Jerry, if we have to sit here for 5 hours. Yes, we're getting this shit, man. Not doing this. I know this time. Let me check my Skype here. I'm going to check my Skype settings. I'm not fucking this up again. I'm not doing this. Skype audio, yes. My power is on, Marvin. Listen, I promise you this time around, Jerry is in the house and Jerry's going to be here. I promise you this time around, it's not on my end. Yes, it does sound like an issue with his sound drivers or something like that. Hell, we do this from his phone. I don't give a shit. I want this to work though, because y'all need to hear Jerry Bow's story. I'm going to take this off until we get Jerry Bow back on, but no, listen, the last thing I need is tech support from a bunch of deckheads. Delete your cookies. That has nothing to do with anything. It's not the cookie problem. We're going to get Jerry Bow I know, Amos. I promise you. We're going to get it figured out, guys. I don't give a shit about breaking the fourth wall and, doing like, a test 1, 2, 3. I don't give a shit. We'll do a test 1, 2, 3. I can hear the Skype right now. Can y'all hear the Skype music? Oh, you can, huh? The Skype ringtone, by the way, worst ringtone in the history of ringtones. I think Jerry Bow is rebooting right now, so that's a good thing. We'll see what happens. Maybe his mic was weird. Reinstall your OS. Thanks for calling Microsoft. Reinstall your OS. Have you tried rebooting? Yeah. Have you tried? God damn it. Look at this. Control-Delete. Guys, it's not me. Watch this. Is John Westling here? Watch. I should call John Westling and prove to you guys. Somebody give me your Skype. I'll call you right now. Somebody give me your Skype. Post your Skype. I'm gonna call your bitch ass right now and prove that it's Jerry's setup and not this. What's your Skype? No, don't go BZH. Somebody give me your Skype right now. Put your Skype in the chat. I'll call you bitch ass right now. We'll do this. I'm telling you, this time around, it is AR Platinum. Okay, let's call AR. Let's do that. Watch this. Watch this, you dirty assholes. Let's see. There's Jerry. Let's answer this, see if this works. What up, player? Round 2. Let's try it again.
Hey, I'm switching everything up. I'm coming from the phone.
Can you
hear me better?
Oh, man, that is so much better. So much better. Chat, what say you?
All right, I switched everything up. No more fancy. I had to take this mic off.
Get that. That's all right, bro. One time, Nick did the whole show with a mic in front of him that didn't even work, and then at the end he was like, "Look, this mic doesn't even work." I was like, "Bro, you can't." He was like, because I had the old Yeti mic, and he was like, "I just couldn't have you making me look bad, so I just got a fake mic and put it in front of me, but this shit don't even work." All right, all the chat is saying much better. I can hear him, so let's put you on the screen now. Good to go, Playboy. Right, we are in it. All right, let's do this. Watch this. I'm going to go. Just hang tight real quick, Jerry. the show. This is, oh, fuck you guys. Jerry, what's up, Playboy? I'm glad we got this happening. I was like, please do not let this be. No!
Are you there? Hey, what's going on here? What kind of joke are we playing here?
Jerry, what the fuck are you doing with your phone?
Hey, what kind of joke are we playing here?
What are you doing to me, Jerry Bo? Your fucking Skype
I'm gonna tell you right
keeps
now.
cutting
Right
off.
when we came on, I finally get everything to work. Now I'm on my phone, and then all of a sudden it says spam risk on my phone. Somebody calling. We know that ain't spam either.
Bro,
that's credit.
That's hilarious. As soon as we're like, okay, we're good, somebody calls you and cuts your Skype off. Is that what happens when you get a phone call?
At least a creditor one. They're trying to make a point.
Oh
We need our money now.
This is so great. You and I have been trying to make this happen. We think we're good. Fucking creditors calling you now. Oh,
hey, this is bad.
This is
bad.
No, this is amazing. This is literally, if this is Barry on Deck personified right here. This is literally Barry on Deck personified. Which
I'm going, do not disturb.
Do not disturb.
Busy.
So great. Oh my God, Chuck Dunaway said, what the fuck, Jerry Bo? What are you doing? Oh my God. Fidel says, what's going on? Guys, this is how we do it on Barry on Deck. We don't give a fuck. Now he's gone. There he goes.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm here. I don't even know if I'm live right now.
You're live. I can hear you. The people can hear you. And the creditors that keep calling soon will hear you too. That was my George Bush from 9/11. Remember when he was standing on the rock? Anyways, I think it's going to work now.
I think we're good now.
I think all the creditors have stopped calling you. Your phone is hooked up. You're in the building. What's been going on with you, player?
Other than dodging creditors, I'm just joking. All right, no, nothing much, man. Just trying to stay corona free, obviously, like the rest of us. Trying to actually, the reason we're talking here, and I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but we're trying to with the holidays here, trying to give back, trying to figure out a way to be involved a bit more and trying to get out to some gifts to some kids. So I don't even want to spoil it too much, but Barry and I are going to be working with something. But other than that, gambling, man. I can't even lie to you. Trying to chase another dollar. That's all it's really about to me.
You know, talk about it a little bit, because for those that don't know, Jerry Bo is one of the preeminent. What is the right word? Because I don't want to just call you a gambler. Because that doesn't cover it accurately, right? What should I call you? If I met you on the streets and you were like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, I'm a fledgling YouTube fuckface that tries to make $1 making content and people laugh. What would you say you did? What's on your business card?
On my taxes, I'm a sports consultant. I sports consult and entertainment, basically. So it's a form of entertainment, but you consult people in the landscape of sports.
Okay, so sports consultant. Got it.
Yep.
I love that. Look, people are saying they can't hear me. You guys are so full of shit. Stop it, Chuck. Stop trying to make it that. Stop it, assholes.
I don't know who's telling the truth.
I know. Look, I don't give a fuck, Jerry. It's you and me. I can hear you. You can hear me. This will be fine when we record it. I'll put this bitch on YouTube later, but they're fine. The Reverend said I'm fine. So a sports consultant is what the IRS is what your IRS designation is. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct.
So how has the sports consulting business been affected by COVID?
Not much, because if anything, gamblers are always looking to gamble. Like, that's one thing. Degenerates are always going to be there. And then if anything, this last 2 months, let's say, of sports, with all the sports at one time, it just gave everyone was so backed up. It's like a man waiting for sex. Then he goes out and he's on the prowl. And that's what was happening here. Everyone was going full force. And then now they're all tapped out. It's the story of everyone's sex life. Yeah.
Everybody's sitting on that money waiting to gamble. Everybody had green balls, right? Just got to get it out.
I mean, brother, for a while there, people were betting on Russian table tennis. And I say people
Did
as in
you?
we. I am one of those. Yeah, yeah. It just at this point you just try to, and I couldn't even like I was trying to get breakdowns, and it was in I had to go use Google Translate. It was in other languages.
I
That's
was
how I
gonna
knew
say,
I
what
was in bad
kind of
shape.
research do you do to bet on Russian table tennis, Jerry?
No, none. Basically, I gave up. I went through about 15, 20 seconds, and I said, man, let me just go with the one with the best hair.
You just like you bet like my wife picks horses. Oh, he's wearing purple.
Yeah.
His sash is purple, and his mane is really pretty. It's in a braid. I love French braids. Oh my God, I'm gonna bet on that horse, and then she fucking wins. So you went my wife and just bet on the best dude with hair, the dude with the best hair. That's hilarious. No,
yeah. I'm making sure we don't disconnect. I'm making sure we don't
Are
disconnect.
you running out of battery now, Jerry?
No, remember, I switched up from computer to phone. I'm making sure that everything's copacetic now.
Okay, gotcha.
They don't want us to have this conversation.
Oh my God.
We're good. I just made sure that we plugged in.
Because listen, the last show that we did, I got to admit, it was pretty badass. And your story is amazing, and I'm so sad that it never got out to the peoples. And everybody was like, please have him back. Please let him tell his story so we can hear it, so we understand it and know what's going on. But I want to talk, because you're more than just that story. The story is how you got to where you are, but you also got to where you are being good at what you do, bro. Tell the people exactly what it is that you do for those watching that don't know, and tell them how they can be a part of it.
Well, basically, whenever I say sports consulting, what does that mean? Everyone wants to gamble. And when they say who's successful gambling, I mean, when you're talking about a real selective group, they say under 2%. 2% of sports gamblers end up saying over a lifetime, hey, I made money. And that tells you how selective it is. So I'm not going to obviously say that I was always in that 2%. It took me a long time. If I say overall, if I'm still chasing maybe what I was doing from whenever I was 21 to 27, thinking I was good and losing a lot of money, I'm probably still chasing that. But now that it's not, you don't tally it like that. Now that you're able to make money consistently, you say, okay, what did I take that as? I took them as lessons, just like anything else in life. We go to school or supposedly or inquire depth. Nobody's going to even talk about taking off student debt right now. But, you go to school for whatever and to learn a craft. And I think that my craft was losing money along the way to learn this thing. I mean, unfortunately, I was that guy that everyone called every time someone got like an income tax check. They were like, hey, I got income tax. We're going, and every year I wouldn't even talk to that person all year long. All year long. I was like, man, they'd hit me up like, are you even alive? And at that point, my number changed so much. They'd have to hunt my number down. Like, man, I've searched you 3 numbers. No one even knows if you're alive. Do you want to go to the casino, though? I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Let's do it. How did you get involved? Because I feel like you have to. You either try it or you were introduced to it. If you get into gambling, like you're into sports, and I don't know how much. Like I'm not a degenerate. Like I don't gamble a lot. Every once in a while, and it's usually just dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'll do DraftKings and risk a little money, but I'm not out. I'm not the kind of guy that on a night in and night out or daily or weekly basis am I looking at point spreads and risking my nest egg on that money like some people can and do and make money and build their wealth that way. How did you get started in it?
I started as a poker player, to be honest with you. I've always been a sports fan. We always grew up as sports fans, but yeah. I started poker playing, I say right around 2001, right around Moneymaker, right around that time, a little bit before though we were playing. But at the time, if everyone goes back, it wasn't Hold'em at one time. When we were growing up, is dealer call it, you know what I mean? It was whoever had the deck, and it would be just 5-card draw or screw your neighbor.
7-card stud.
Just crazy. Yeah, just you call it, you pass the deck, and it was like that. It wasn't really Hold'em if you really think about it. But then as Hold'em started getting bigger and bigger, and I was right on that curve, and man, I was busting ass, man. I was at that time, and I was just thinking like there's a window here that people haven't really caught on to this whole wave, and I was in that first wave, man. And when everyone caught on, like maybe 03, 04, I was already dominating. And that's after that, that's the bad thing about gambling, man. And there's a lot of people out of my private group. I dropped the link. They're here right now. And I tell them like, in case people want me to paint them that story, like, man, Jerry wanted to see all these wins and stuff. It's like, man, I could paint you those, and I do have them. But it's like, man, it took me a lot of losses, and it came on that poker table. Eventually, I started seeing that there was a landscape of sports, and then it just being a sports head, it just one and one connected, and here I am. But it's like I said, it took me a lot of. I would win a lot of money poker, and then I would blow it on sports gambling. Because sports. Everyone probably here is like, yeah, and I love sports. I know them, but gambling on sports is a whole different animal.
It really is. It becomes less about sports and more about math and more about other outside factors as opposed to just loving sports to gamble on it. But let's go back to the poker real quick, because I find it interesting you started here. There's a really big poker community here in Houston. It's an underground scene that I don't think a lot of people know exists or aren't exposed to unless you're into it. That's where you started, right? Did you see the growth of that because of the ESPN coverage of Texas Hold'em and the World Series of Poker and stuff like that? Was that the catalyst for poker becoming bigger here in Houston?
Oh man, before, you got to remember that it wasn't legal here. I mean, are the feds watching? I got to look out my window. There was backdoor games, man. There was this place called Sidelines. Okay, so it was downtown where that hospital is to the left, right there, where the cross is, like a building over that first floor, and it changes. It's different bars all the time, but at the time it was Sidelines, man, and it was all Asians, straight up. I mean, I'm in there.
That's a big part of the poker community in Houston, right? There's a big Asian delegation.
Oh man, and at that time, like I said, Hold'em wasn't that big. We're talking about 03, maybe. It's still barely hitting that scene, and it'd be like I think it was like a Thursday night, man. You'd go there, and it was really like a bar during the day, and then they'd shut it down, and all these poker tables would come out, and it'd be just a bunch of Asians that wild up in here, man. And that time I get up there, and progressively I did. Then I ended up going to LA some. I played out in Redondo Beach, lived there for a while, played poker. I've done it everywhere, man, like I said, and eventually I just put it together with sports, and then we'll start that story in a second for sure, though. But honestly, that's always been it, just like anybody else, man. We all like to put a little scratch on something, throw a little bit something on there, and it just became of, man, what if I could consecutively do this and make it consistent and turn it into something? And it became a point in my life to where I was like, man, I'm a little older, so if I'm going to backtrack and start a new career now, how many years do I got to go through to make what I make now? I became kind of spoiled. So it's like that gambling money, it comes fast and it spins fast when you're young, so then you become accustomed to some certain lifestyle.
That's the crazy thing about it. I know several people in kind of embedded in the poker scene here in Houston, and some of them you find on the tour, some of them you find just run underground. Like my buddy Jesse Payton, you may know him. But it's a pretty tight knit community. Not everybody knows everybody, but there are guys I had a guy that's a professional poker player on the show not too long ago, but they talked about the fact that there is that scene and it is tight knit. But, how much do you have to suffer? Because I imagine that playing poker is like anything else where you just have to play. Like when people ask me, oh, how do you be a stand-up comic? You just have to go on stage and eat shit and bomb over and over again until you get better, and then you get good, and then you can go out there confidently and get laughs every time. Is that how poker is? You just got to lose a lot of money up front, getting taken by a lot of players that are a lot better than you to learn how to become that good? He's frozen. There you go.
Am I good?
Yeah, it froze for a second. Did you hear the full question?
No. Yeah. No, man, it's about experience. Like that's what I tell people. Even in sports gambling, it's about the more you see every week. It's the same thing. Oh, there's an injury, or so and so is maybe a questionable. What's going to happen to this line? Then you start thinking to yourself, man, I've seen this predicament or this situation before. I've been in this predicament. And same thing in poker. You have to see so many hands to you start saying, okay, this is how I'm going to trap this guy. I've seen this situation before, or I'm going to avoid it because I've seen it. So again, it's the amount of hands you see, just like they say, like in radio, for example, the more hours you do, it's the same thing. Many think that it's just about Barry just said, hey, what's up, deckheads, man? There's so much more to it. There's timing. It's everything. You have to make it flow a certain way, and it comes with hours. I know whenever, and I'm still trying to get there, but the first time when that radio turns on, that red light turns on, it's like, you're thinking about what you're thinking about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're just thinking like, okay. And then anytime there's a little bit of dead air, it's like 1 second of dead air on your head, it's like 8 seconds, So it's like, man, it's a different ball game. But with time, it just becomes natural to you.
How do you do it to where it's not, because I'm sure there are people that want to get into it, that like it, that would love to be a poker player, either in the underground or whatever. Is playing online an option? Is that how you can get and see a lot of hands and become better without risking and losing a ton of money?
That's how I started online, man. To be honest with you, I was in that big online wave first, and then it just, again, you can see so many hands online. You don't have to leave your house. So it's again, you can only get there so far though, because poker's so many aspects. It's not only about seeing the hands and knowing how to deal with them. It's also, poker is about that moment. Who is that person? Who is the guy in front of you? And through a computer, you can't see that. In poker, whenever someone walks into a room and you watch them buy in for their chips, the way their money's folded, whether it comes out of their wallet, or whether it comes out of a clip, or whether it comes out of their sock, like right then and there, you judge a person.
Who they are. Which one should I do?
Right away.
Because when I was with ESPN, there was a room that opened up on the north side by a cabaret. It was called a Steelhouse. When Steelhouse Poker opened up, and I've played, but I'm not an active poker player in the underground, right? I know the rules. I know how to play a little bit. I've played with some buddies. I've never played in a big tournament like they had. They had an opening tournament that was really big at Steelhouse. And they were like, well, since you're the spokesperson for it, just come out and get in the tournament. So I show up. No one knows who I am at the tables, right? And there I come, and I'm like, they gave me a little bankroll, just put it on. They just gave me some chips, let me play. I just walk up, I sit down, and at the table, I could tell I was fucked because, like, dudes, one guy was like, yeah, he pulls out a wad and it's rubber banded and it's about that thick. And I didn't even have to know about poker to know, I got to watch this guy. He's pretty fucking good, right? Is that what you're saying? Like, you said the sock. Is that the key? If people wanted to front, just keep your money in your sock? Is that how people be like, oh, this guy's a player, even though you don't know shit? They're going to figure it out, right?
It depends, because then again, you could play it to your advantage, because if you want them to think you're something that you're not, you could play that whole card. But then you also, a man that, you look at how wrinkled that dollar is too. You know what I mean? That's just where it came from. But because if it's really wrinkled, that means that dollar has some thoughts to it. That's been done. He's been thought like, okay, do I do it? It's unfolded and folded a few times. It's overly creased. Well, man, and don't get me wrong, I've played that card where, you sit down and I know I'm going to buy in more than $100, but I'll sit down with a minimum $100, ask a few questions like I'm new, throw in $100 on a bull crap hand. You just here, what is this? And then all of a sudden they're thinking, well, this guy, hey, he's terrible. Then all of a sudden it's like, am I allowed to buy back in? Is this, no, that's a cash game. Let him buy back in. And then you bust that ass. And, you know what I mean? Like,
I love it.
It's just so many ways, man. But then again, like, you're at the casino and you see that guy walk in and he walks by with his buddies and he's like, he tells his, you're over here. He's looking at the tables. He walks by a few times and he tells his wife, like, man, I play poker. I'm pretty good. And all of his friends are like, man, let's get drinks instead. And he just begging them for, 20 minutes. And then she's bitching. She's like, man, well, I guess I'll go play a slot over here. Then, like, this guy's on borrowed time. He's 20 minutes. Yeah, he's trying to get in and out. So he's going to play over, just stuff like that. You see the old man come in, put his oxygen tank down, and you're like, then you feel bad. And you're like, man, he's playing on that. He's playing on borrowed time. Yeah, that's borrowed time and fixed income. He's in a bad situation, So everything you take into account, man, I'm telling you, I've seen some crazy stuff. But then, like, again, you never judge a book by its cover, because some of these guys, you just wonder, what is this guy? Where does this guy come from with all this money? And you just end up running into a wall.
You saying you sit down, you're like, can I buy back in? I don't know what's going on. It's like pool hustling. That's the first thing that popped into my head, is when you got a guy walk up and he doesn't have a stick and he's fumbling with the chalk and he doesn't know what he's putting on a show, and he's going to hustle the shit out of everybody around that table. I guess the same is true in poker. You can hustle.
Yeah, it's like Uncle Phil when he put out Lucille, I think it was, right? Was it Lucille?
Yes!
I think that's the name. He pulled out Lucille.
Jeffrey, give me Lucille.
He started getting all the money back. He got all the money back. And that's what it is again. But you only can play those certain people. They always say, and I hate that term because it's so cliche, but if you can't spot the fish at the table within a few minutes, then you are the fish. Yeah, and a lot of times you catch yourself, you're like, man, it's a fun table. I don't notice nothing odd. Well, then you're the fish, like you have to I make a relationship. I establish a relationship with everyone at the table without them knowing it. One of them, as soon as within an hour, I know that's my frugal friend. Like he's over here ordering drinks, he's already offered me one and I don't even know the guy, So I'm like, okay, that's the kind of guy he is. He's already pulled out his money. I'm like, okay, he's got a little, then you got this other guy over there. He's not even tipping on drinks. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, wow. Yeah. You're like, okay, you already know, wow.
Jerry.
So that you have a relationship with them without even knowing, and you have one guy that's real good and you make a move and you're good, you connect eyes, it's like, and he looks at you like, all right, I'm gonna stay out your way, don't mess with me, I'm not, and it's like, all right, and then a couple of times you do a hand and that's how he's on your side. He'll be like, hey, well played, right then and there, he don't want none of this.
Dude, that's deep. I never realized that there's so much to it because a dumbass like me just sits down and goes, okay, now do I hit on what do I fold? Like that's a guy like me. Whereas, I'm playing checkers and you guys are playing chess, man. That's deep to think that it goes that much where you're looking at a guy's drink order and how he treats the waitresses, and that's crazy, man. That's a whole other level. That's why you're what you do and I'm lose money in how I am. That's the big difference. And you guys, but is that true? You guys make your money off of guys like me and not guys like you?
Not necessarily though, man, because if you play a poker game against someone that like I lose, if I don't play house games at all, not because of the fact of losing, winning, anything like that. It doesn't fit my nature. You can do moves on a real table where it makes sense. If you're playing at a different type of game, a higher stakes game, the hand makes sense. When those guys on poker are sitting there thinking about it and you're at TV saying, just call, it's because you see the hand. Those guys are trying to play out that whole hand. Like how did he get to what he's telling me? What is he trying to tell me? What is that bet telling me? Is he telling me a lie or is he telling me a truth? What is he hiding from me? Is he hiding anything? When did he start hiding it? He's asking himself all those questions before he makes that next move. And then it's like, that's the same thing you have to do. It's just, there's a game inside a game. And it doesn't only come down to like the little things that I told you. Obviously, you have to know your odds and everything that. But if your pocket aces aren't always going to win. Yeah. You know what I mean? We know that. So it's about how many times can I trap those pocket aces against my 8-9. Once you start being able to know, man, I can jump in, put my hand in the grease and get it out at any time, and I know where I'm at. That's a different game. Okay, I can let him get as far as I let him see as much as I let him see. Like I'm letting him get to where he wants to get because I know where he's at. You know what I mean? That's when you start knowing.
Poker's a bad game for guys like me who all of my emotions are shown on my face. If I'm happy, you see it. If I'm mad, you see it. If I'm whatever it is, my emotions immediately, like I'm not good. I don't have a quote poker face. And that's a true thing, right? Like you have to be stoic. You can't, internally you can be emotional, but you've got to be stoic at the tables.
There's so many different personalities, man. I've ran into them. Like, I think, man, if anybody on a poker table would meet or they jump on this chat, they'd be like, man, that dude on there is an asshole. Like that dude that you're talking to, everything he's about, he's not, like that's people hate me at a poker table.
Really?
Like, they hate me. Oh, I'm not talking to anyone. Don't talk to me. Don't look at, don't want none, ain't gonna be none. You know what I mean? Like that's because I want them to hate me. I want them like what you said, where you're like, you lose like your head. I want them to not even play cards against me. I want them to just want to beat me so bad that they play out of their element. And that's what I do. Like I said, if you ever see me, like I said, I walk in and I don't say shit to nobody, man. Give me my chips. Let's sit down. And it's like, if somebody makes a move, it's like, I'm gonna give them that look without even saying nothing. And it's like, all right, it's on. Next time he's in the hand, I'm raising. I'm just saying something like, whatever he's got, I'm raising. You know what I mean? Like you just start that beef. And that's, again, I've ran into old men though, that are shaking your hand the whole time and they're taking your candy the whole time. And you're just thinking, wow. I thought this old man was my friend like the whole time. And then all of a sudden, one hand to another. Yeah, one hand to another. You're like, bro, we have drinks coming. You're going to put me all in? You're
like, do that? You're like, I'm not even going to get to enjoy my fucking drink. Pop. What are you doing?
And I'm paying for him. You're thinking like, what in the hell? And he's just looking at you like, like, I don't even drink, son.
Yeah, I didn't even want that fucking
like
drink. Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's deep,
so you
dude.
play that game. You play that game with them too, man. It's just so many different types of players, man. There's a loud mouths. There's the quiet ones that are real more just analytical. That's what makes poker such a. It's more than a game. It's a lifestyle, man. And that's why when you play it every day for a living, it becomes a lifestyle. Like you said, they're in their own world. They know each other. When someone walks in and they're like, oh, okay, we know who he is. There he comes. So.
Pete Jones in the chat said, damn, the science of it seems more interesting than the actual game. And I would agree. The science of it is the real art to playing poker. It's not reading Doyle Brunson's The Texas Hold'em Bible and knowing when to, it's not going Kenny Rogers, right? Knowing when to hold them and fold them. It's the science of people. It's the science of the moment. It's the science of body language. That's all where you win and lose poker, it seems like.
It is. It's everything. Like I said, if it was just that, then any mathematician, anyone could just pick up one of these books and be it. It's about being in the moment, because I have to make you believe or not believe what I'm telling you through bets. What can I do to convince you that this is what I have? What are you doing to convince me? And that's where it starts. And then you have to tell the story. And that story starts with, who is that person? There's certain guys that I'm not testing at the table, because it's like, all right, if I test him, he's going to call me. Even if he doesn't have a great hand, he's willing to fish. Or there's some guys that you test because you're saying that unless he has one, if he calls me, it's because he has something. And then it's true what he said. It's such a game inside the game. Winning, it's like I tell people, even in sports gambling, though, picking the right side, that's maybe 70% of the aspect. You know what I mean? It's timing, it's composure, it's bankroll management, it's everything that goes into it. And I don't give a damn what anybody says. Karma. You know what I mean? Like karma, man. Like I tell people in my group, if they're in here right now, I tell them, and I don't say karma in the form like, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy a sandwich for a homeless guy and just give it to him, and now I got karma. No, it's genuine. Why you do things.
It's genuine.
Yeah, genuinely.
You genuinely want
conscience.
to help people. You genuinely love helping your fellow man, as opposed to, well, I guess I got to go do something nice for somebody so something good will happen to me. Nothing good is going to happen to you if you do that. It's just genuinely wanting to help people. That's how you bankroll karma. Fact, right?
That's it. And that's what I tell people, man. It's like, I give away.
We lost him again.
Moments to me.
We lost you again. Just
are you good?
Yeah. I think are you on Wi-Fi? It's going to happen from time to time, I believe, on Skype.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
All good. I'll let you know when it happens.
When I share, like, and I say, man, I give out a lot of money and stuff, and I tell people it's not even giving out money to me. I give out moments, because I've missed a lot of moments in childhood, and I missed a lot of moments because I didn't have, like, just stuff, man, just stuff, because money wasn't available, and or people or whatever that is. So screw all the money and stuff, man, because I'd rather not eat steak and we all eat sandwiches together if I could break that steak down into 20. So Amen. It's like, to me, it's like. It's about moments, man, and that's what brings here. Me and you are going to create another moment this Christmas.
After the show, you and I are going to sit down and have some discussions about how we can help people. And it's because, and I want people to know, you just reached out to me and said, hey, I see what you do with your show and the Deckhead family and the communities stuff that you guys do, and I love that, and you love that, and let's do something. So we're going to discuss it and figure it out. Real quick, though, I want to give you some props for some of the stuff being said in the chat. Riley De La Sandra said, I strongly recommend joining Jerry's premium group if y'all are big on gambling. How can people join? Like, there are a lot of people interested in this, and maybe some people don't want to do the work. They just be like, here's whatever your fee is, just so I can, have the knowledge that you do without having to spend 20 years learning it. And that's the advantage of a group like yours. How can people join that group and get the information from you so that they can become instant experts using you as their expertise?
Okay. If you're obviously, you can message me at Jerry Bone Knows with a Z. But if outside of that, I have my website I just started. It's jerrybosports.com. You can check out all my packages there. But like I said, it's hard, man, in gambling to if you're not a gambler, man, and it's you look at my bookie or wherever you go, and you're like, what is this? Like, what does this even mean? That's what I'm here for people that have their jobs that just say, man, I'm gonna watch the game tonight, and but I'm gonna be working all day. I don't have the time to do the all the research. I just want to know what you're on, and that's what people do for me, man. A lot of people are in this right now. They're watching. I told them to come watch because, like I said, it's deeper than gambling. I tell people the aspect of, like I said, those mistakes, like we said earlier, losing money, all those mistakes that I make, I talk them out loud in the group, and I tell them like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I've done this mistake though, so if it happens here, but this is what I'm seeing. And then after the game, I talk to them and I always slow them down and I always say, let's digress. Like they're gonna hit us. We busted them today. Tomorrow they're probably gonna hit us back. Like it's so superficial. Everything. Everyone's a gambler now, man. Like that's the thing to be right now. So it's like, to me, I want everybody to realize what this is and not get their hopes too high or too low. So then whenever they end up finding their medium, they're not disappointed. They don't go and blow money that they're not supposed to blow. They treat this more as consistency, and that's what it's about.
Well, you've got a lot of people already in the chat. Joel Hernandez is here. He said, are we hammering Seattle -3 tonight? I guess I don't know if you're giving that away or not, but
look, this is what we're gonna do for the dickheads, and y'all don't tell these secrets to nobody. I'm gonna give you this. All right, Seattle. If you go look, for some reason, Russell Wilson has struggled against Arizona for the last 4 matchups, right? And I don't go back too far because I hate the guy that's like 23-6 against the spread. You're like, that's 29 games. What the hell does 26 games have to do? You know, like that coordinator's not even alive no more. That guy died. Yeah. So what are we even talking about? So I like to look at so we know that Kingsbury against Carroll, and so we're just going to take about four matchups, Murray, and okay, so that's our little sample size we're looking at. During that sample size, Russ has struggled for whatever reason, but this is what I've gotten. And if you take it back 6, they've surpassed 30 points for those 6, but then the 2 that they didn't is because they ran the ball extra amount of times. That's who Seattle was. Seattle's different this season. One thing that I found out in every single one of those matchups, they scored at least 1 touchdown in every single first quarter. The bet today has to be Seattle team total over 6.5. Seattle will get at least a touchdown in the first quarter. You can bet that at pretty much any book. Also, we're going to ride Seattle tonight. I'm just waiting because everyone's going to jump tonight on Arizona. Everyone saw the Hail Mary, and then everyone just saw what Seattle's been as of late. When everyone's selling, you buy. Tonight, you buy Russell at home. You're never going to get this spot at a field goal. I feel that that's the point. I'd say if you want a total, I'm going to give it to you it's going to go about 33-27 Seattle.
Okay. And now, does that take into account Chris Carson being out? He's not expected to play.
Yeah, Chris Carson. I'm not worried, though, about it because Hyde. I'm perfectly fine with Hyde. Okay. I was just worried about a couple of the injuries as far as Seattle on the defensive side of the ball with Griffin, the cornerback. They might be running 2 rookie cornerbacks tonight. But then Adams, so a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. This Seattle's defense, they're historically bad. They're on pace to be the worst team of all time as far as pass yards allowed. Okay, wow. Of all time.
Even worse than the Cowboys this year. Yeah, shit. And the Texans.
And that's what's so crazy. But so crazy. And this is all time. So what I'm looking at here is the same thing that went down in the first game. Arizona knows that they got to attack them because they can beat that defense. They're going to overtime. I think that Seattle's going to do the same thing. 30. So if you want to hit the team total at 30, go ahead and hit that as well. Seattle wins that game tonight. But I really, my bet that I got pinned down, even when they've lost these games to Arizona, and they lost the last 2 to Arizona, they've scored at least a touchdown in the first quarter. I'm taking that bet to the house.
Bet. Okay. That's good. That's good info. So I've got JerryBoSports.com on the screen, and you said if people want to get in touch with you on Twitter, it's at JerryBoKnows, correct?
Yeah, at JerryBoKnows with a Z, or you can hit the company phone. It's 281-650-1558.
Oh shit! Look at you, Fancy Pants got the. I'm putting this on here because I want people to be able to get in touch with you if they want to try their hand at a little, getting a little action out there. And you still got people showing up.
And I do a lot of one-on-one consultations also, man, with the people in my group. Like I literally have a calendar that they can sign up for, and we do 15-minute consultations because, like I tell everyone, man, it's impossible for everyone to just give out picks and say, man, this is the way you do it, because someone's betting with a 15,000 in my group, someone's betting with 100 in my group, So it's like how can I give the same information?
We lost you for a second. He'll be back. Hang tight. He'll be back. We lost you for a second.
A couple of ladies that are in my group. That's why I say guys. I say that loosely. I got women, men. I mean everything, man. Like these are people that some of them don't even watch sports.
Yeah, they just want to gamble and they trust you. Speaking of that, I'm curious because you give out free picks. You give out you'll tweet out, hey, let's do this. Do a max bet on this or whatever it is you give out for free on Twitter, plus the stuff that you do within your group. When you're wrong, and it's inevitable that you're going to be wrong, right? If you're really good at this, you're right 54% of the time. Is that about the right number? If you're really good at sports betting, you're going to be right 54% of the time.
Yeah, 50. If you can hit 54% of the time, then you're beating the number. Obviously, people were like, "Why can't it be half and half?" Because there's a juice. There's minus 110 on a bet usually. What does that mean? If it says minus 110, that means you have to put $1.10 to win $1 or 110 to win 100. Any way you want to look at it. So that's where the house makes their money. The objective of the sports book is to have a bet. They are to take the bets. Hopefully they want half and half. They want half the bets on one side, half the bets on the other, because what happens? And they make that little 10%, they make that little juice on every single bet. Say there's 10,000 bets. That's what they want. They want 5,000 on one side, 5,000 on the other, and then they just take the money. They're not in this to gamble, and that's what you got to look at. So that's another way that you start looking into bets, because once one group starts betting on one side, and then it starts going up, then that's when you start saying, how much is it going up? Why hasn't it gone up too much? What is the book getting me to believe here? What story? What do they want me to buy? They're selling me this at a discount. Why do they want me to buy this? Is it going to be at more of a discount if I wait till Sunday? Is this the best discount I get right now? That's the questions you ask yourself.
That's crazy. And it makes sense, though. I never really thought of it that way, but they don't care who you bet on because their money, they look at those bets canceling each other out. Their money is on the juice. Their money is on the 10%. That's their markup. That's their fee. So as long as you're active, they don't give a shit if you're betting on the underdog or the favorite. They just care that you're betting because they're getting money on you placing the bet, not winning or losing. Is that basically what you're saying?
Exactly. And that's the whole game. Them getting the bets. That's the whole game. Them taking the bets and realizing if not, then the number wouldn't fluctuate. It would be a number that would come out set and they wouldn't change it all week. They'd say, this is what we're standing by. That's not. The market drives the number. And that's what makes this game so fantastic, because you ask yourself, is this number driven by smart money, or is it driven by the people that set this? Like, who's driving this number? Is it because all of a sudden an injury happened and everyone's running to the books? Who's running to the books? Is it people with just deep pockets? That's why this game is so fantastic, because it's not just a number that stays there. It's driven by money, and that money you have to figure out, where's it coming from? And once you can figure out, you can pinpoint when that money is coming in. Is it coming in from just a lot of little tickets, or is it coming in from big shark bets? Then you start saying, all right, this is where it's going to end.
That's wild, dude. Now, how do you handle being wrong 47% of the time? Almost half the time, Jerry, you're wrong. How do you handle that? Because I would feel, dude, as a person, and I know how giving you are. I know what the compassion you have for your fellow man and the heart of gold that you have. And I know that you had to struggle at first in dealing with being wrong and seeing people lose their money because of your advice. But that's part of the game. How do you deal with it?
Man, it's still the toughest thing to deal with it now. Like I'll get a lot of stories, man, and I'll ask myself, like I had one guy, he signed up and he's just like, I lost. I mean, it was wild. Like, and I tell you this because I'm straight up about everything, and it was like 3 day losing streak I had. This dude's like, man, I lost 16 grand. I'm like, what kind? So this was my question. I said, So that means you have like $250,000, right? Like you have money then, right? And he's like, nah, I'm playing on credit. I said, man, what the hell? Like,
Wow.
what would possess you in your mind to go bet that kind of money if you don't even have it? Like, and I say that loosely because I'm telling you, man, I've been in every bad scenario that you can think of with gambling, man. I've had to play with bookies. Most bookies, the locals, they give you credit. You don't have to deposit.
Yeah.
You find a local bookie, they're gonna give you a $1,500, $2,000 line. I pay you on Mondays, you pay me on Tuesdays. See you next week, okay? And then it's like, man, these guys, they run up those accounts, 3 or 4 of them, and then all of a sudden they don't have 5-6 grand to pay that. So that's what I tell these guys. I let them know, man, break it down. It sucks. It sucks, man, when you're
We lost you for a second.
if you're not betting at least $100, it does nothing for you. You get to a point to where you're like, man, 100 turns into an extra zero. If when you first start, it's like $20. You're thinking, man, $20, I'm cool with 20. Then eventually you're like 50, then 100, then at 100, it never stops, man. You lose. That's why I think I try to be so giving, and I just had this conversation with everyone on my group this morning. They probably tell you, they could post it here, and I tell them, like, I think that's why I try to show so much love outside of gambling, because in gambling, my gambling world is violent. I use within it, it's violent. I have to treat it violent, because if not, I'm just another dude pressing buttons. I have to treat it like, oh shit, they're about to take me or I'm about to take them. Like palms are sweating, like, let's go. Like my group is more than gambling, man. It's a lifestyle. I pump them up like, hey, I'm over here sweating this shit. You're going to sweat it with me. You know what I mean? Like, we got a jersey on just like them for the next 30 minutes.
That's
It's
crazy.
just, unfortunately, man, that's the lifestyle that my entire family's had to like become accustomed to. My wife, she's my number one fan, man. She's probably listening right now, and she'll tell you, like, man, I've seen this dude from the struggle, and I'm still there to have to hold him up sometimes when he falls, because this game is just, it'll take everything out of you. And that's why I explain to my people in my group. I got over 100 people, right around that 100
That's
mark,
amazing.
and all of them, I tell them every day, like, hey, it's about making sure that you put this bread up. Like, it's the holidays. We made money yesterday. Let's not get too high. This is when you come in and you're thinking, I won $1,000 yesterday. I'm going to bet three.
So you're
300
not just their gambling guru. You're not just the guy that gives them the number. You turn into a counselor as well. You turn into an advisor, a financial advisor, if you will, not technical terms, but you turn into the guy that says, okay, this is how I would bet. And then you have to be the guy that says, now go put some of that money aside and don't be a fucking idiot and lose everything you've won, because you're defeating the purpose of why we're making this money in the first place.
Exactly. I like to explain it like whenever we've had a good Sunday all day long, and I like to think of it, hey, let's go back. We're in the casino. I tell them, close your, let me paint you a picture. We're in the casino and you've been winning money all day long. And then all of a sudden, now it's the nighttime. Go to the hotel room and take that damn money out of your pocket and put it in the safe. And you're going to grab a few of those, just grab, don't even count it because you've done so good. Just grab and then go downstairs and have a good time. But the money that you work, you put that up. And that's why I tell people, man, it's like everyone wants to win. Then when I tell people set a goal, like, what's the goal? And I tell everyone, if you make over 270, about 273, 274, whatever it is a day, that's 100 grand a year. That's big goals. I said, so let's.
Lost you again, buddy. You'll be back. There we go. We lost you again. You said set goals.
Set goals, right? So then I said, around that 270 mark is 100 grand a year, right? So then I said, okay, that's a lot. I mean, if somebody said 100, so let's digress that. Let's divide that in 4. And if somebody said, man, you're going to make 25 grand this year sports gambling, you'll take that. You would take that. So then why not set a goal of having to make 270 divided by 4? Or this is how I started. Somebody comes to you and say, what if I told you right now that you'll never pay for gas again? All the gas, no matter where you go, your gas money's paid for. You'd be like, shit, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes that, because you're only working at a certain amount, your gas. then you start saying, what if somebody told me my whole car note is free? Like I could drive any car I want. But then, if I stick to this goal, well, there's no satisfying in life, even as a kid, and then growing up. And how many goals do we get to hit whenever we're adults? It's tough. Like, what is the goal? You know what I mean? Like, the kids are the ones that have goals. Like, so what goals do we have other than it's more of this is our job to go to work and
Right.
do whatever we have to do to provide or whatever it is. But if you have goals, and if you could set goals within this gambling life, which leads to a lot of greed because it's a lot of money involved, you get to a mind frame where it becomes a rotation. It becomes all right, man, I'm not going to get greedy. I'm going to hit my goal. Let me get the hell out. My goal is only $80. $80 means that I can make $25,000 a year. Screw this. You know what I mean? And that's how you do it, bro.
That's the thing, the greed. I think when people, they get outside of themselves and want to, oh my God, if I can make 80, I can make 160. And then just like, well, you can, but you've got to figure out how to never lose the 80 as in your quest for making the 160. And I think that's the big problem. And that's why gambling becomes an addiction. That's why gambling becomes a problem. Do you talk about that with your group, the gambling addiction? Do you talk about getting help? Or is that something that is, and I'm looking for the honesty here, is that counterproductive to your business model?
Man, to be honest with you, maybe not so much in the, man, here 1-800, come go get help. But everyone knows that I tell them, like, you have to use it for an objective. Again, some people don't have structure. I didn't have structure for a long time. I've been every game. Like, I've been in debt with bookies, man. Like, I've lived that life. Like, I know. And that's why I think people respect me. You know what I mean? Because they've seen me. Friends of mine that probably thought, man, I never thought that dude was gonna. I mean, he's been going hard at this. People would tell you he's been going hard at this for 15 years now, and he's never he's never done anything else. That's what we know him as for. And like I said, now it comes to a point to where I tell people, like, if maybe it's not your time. Not so much don't gamble, because to be honest with you, when people look for help, like addiction is when, for me, is when people have a problem, and a problem to me is with losing, and I'm not a losing better, and I say that humbly, you know what I mean, like with humbleness. So to me, it never really became a problem. Don't get me wrong, it was a problem for a while, but I always had enough people that believed in me, man. For a while, it'd be like I'd go broke for years, like, and we're talking 10 years back, 8 years back, maybe even 6 years back. I'd go broke, I'd lose all my money, and I always have people that'd be like, brother, I know what you got. We're going right back in, like wow. People have always, man, like that's why I play with, I do the things I do and the way I speak on that computer. And it's not to boast like my chest. It's to put out my hands and telling everyone, like, here, walk with me, like whatever situation you're in, like I'm right there with you. I might be there again. I'm going to need you. But right now that you need someone, here I am, and let's walk together. And that's what it's about to me, man. Like I heard you talk earlier about the depression stuff and reaching out to you. And I thought, man, this couldn't be a better day for me to come on with you, man, because I've been there.
Yeah, and facts are facts, bro. If you're good, you're good. There's no reason to shy away from that and say it's not a problem for me because I win. If you win, you win. You got the receipts, right? Like you definitely have that. Truck driver Pookie said, damn it, I wish Jerry's Wi-Fi was as good as his material. Because it keeps cutting in and out.
We're running off Cricket hotspot.
Wait a minute. You just talked about if I could get you to make 80, if I told you your gas bill was always going to be paid for. Bro, what if we need to get your internet bill paid for? We need to be like, if I told you your good Wi-Fi, we could get you gigabit to the house when you would never have to pay for it. That's what we need to get you.
You're like, your boys are doing gigabits now? I'm on the AOL free disc. I'm running on those 30 hours free disc right now, and I'm on hour 29, 30 minutes, so we're running low right now, okay?
Real quick, I just saw this, and I thought I saw it earlier, but I do want to take a brief moment just to say rest in peace to Dinah Power, who was Rod Ryan show for many, many years, and apparently she passed away from cancer. She had the battle with cancer. We talked about it a little bit on the show with Tess. But yeah, sad news in Houston radio. Rest in peace to her as well. Here's, by the way, Crystal Collins just sent in $2 for your GoFundMe for your gigabit fund. That's so great.
Hey, I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on, guys, but I need every $2 I can get.
Listen, we got to bounce in just a second. The show is ending, but one more time, the people can get you at jerrybosports.com. right?
Yeah, JerryBoSports.com or on Twitter at JerryBoKnows.
Because it's 3:56. This hour flew by, and we really didn't even get back to the message of what happened to your pops and the story behind that, because it got lost with the tech issues last time. But I did that intentionally because I want to bring you back. People need to hear your story. I want them to hear the story, but I didn't want to do it while we're having tech problems with the Wi-Fi on the phone.
I'm gonna hardwire next time.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do next time, Jerry. The next time you're scheduled to come back, you and I are gonna have a call before the show starts for like 10 minutes to make sure there's no problems, and then when I bring you on, we'll be golden. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm game. Anytime you guys want to have me, I'm always game to.
Bro,
to
I
come
could
on here.
literally talk to you for hours about this and your life and giving, and we're gonna have that discussion again. I appreciate you being here, homie. You hang on the line. I'm gonna close out the show, and then you and I'll just have our meeting now. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, bet. You guys, that is the end of the show. That is another episode of Barry on Deck. Thank you guys all for being here and joining me each and every day. If you came because Jerry Bo told you to come watch, I hope you enjoyed the show. Do me a favor if you did. If you like what you saw so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And that way you can come back and hang out with me, even if Jerry Bo's not here. And that's okay too, right? But thank you again to everybody that showed up today and shows up each and every day. I appreciate you all so much. And until tomorrow, as you know, I have just 3 requests from each of you. Be safe, be kind, and most importantly, love each other. So until tomorrow, it's Friday, bitches. We're going to be drinking and talking lawns and having a good time. I will see you then. Y'all be safe. Daddy's making a YouTube video!